I'm Joni Denker. I'm the Conservation Supervisor for the Rockford Park District. Part of my job is maintaining our over 1,500 acres of natural areas. We've got prairies, woodlands, wetlands, some recreations and some native plantings. I work closely with the landscape supervisor to integrate native plantings into more formal landscape beds. And so you can see those throughout the city. And then I also do a lot of work with volunteer groups. I've always had a fascination with the natural world. Since I was a kid, I would wander around in woodlands and marvel at the flowers and the insects and spend most of my time outdoors playing in the creeks. And when I got a little older and finally figured out what I wanted to do when I grew up, I went back to school to study wildlife rehabilitation. While I was at UW-Rock County, I took an environmental ethics course, and it changed the way I view the natural world and how humans interact with it. And that's when I decided to switch to landscape restoration and landscape management. I have a bachelor's in environmental geology from Beloit College that has given me a broad knowledge of how the natural world works. I studied a lot about ecosystems, groundwater and soil, and all of that informs what type of ecosystems we have here in Rockford, as well as the urban ecosystem. So additionally for my job, I have a few certificates and licenses that I have to have. One of them being herbicide license, and so that's through the Department of Ag. We do all in-house training, and then there's booklets and classes that you can take, and then a short test. I'm also an Illinois prescribed burn manager, and so I've gotten my license now. And then we also require you to have a CDL, at least a Class C, depending on if you live in Illinois or Wisconsin, of course. There are other licenses that I can obtain through work. A lot of it requires additional training outside of work, however. So aside for managing people and projects, which I've had a lot of experience prior to coming to the Rockford Park District, a lot of the work that I do here was on-the-job training. So there's a lot of heavy equipment operations, chainsaws, herbicide use. All of that was learned at work. I also on the job. When I first started here, I can name maybe 5 species and native plants, and now it's well over 300, probably 400. I've never actually counted, but once you get in the field and start working with them daily, you become a lot more familiar with them for sure. I started working for the Rockford Park District seasonally on the natural areas team right after I graduated from Beloit College. I had quite a bit of volunteer experience prior to that, and so I volunteered with my local Audubon chapter, and I have done a lot of volunteer work with bird conservation groups in Wisconsin, numerous ones, and so it just kind of fit right in here at the Rockford Park District. I came on full-time 2.5 years ago, and that's where I'm at now.